Good morning, everyone. It's Marinus here. I think one of the questions I probably get the most is about becoming an entrepreneur, starting your own business or starting your own marketing agency, and sort of what it's all about. I think I want to do a video. It's going to be the hard truth about it. I'm not going to beat around the bush and share with you all the little moonshine and roses scenarios. There's a few things that I believe that you should know before you get into this sort of career, and hopefully you can learn a bit from this and take from it and also motivate yourself. So the first thing we need to talk about is the entrepreneurial mindset. This is different to anything else. It's not you're not working an 8 to 5 job where you get a set salary every month, no matter what. You're not sort of working for someone else. You don't have the luxury of just sick days and not working or taking hours of lunch and that sort of thing. The resilience, adaptability, and the continuous learning attitude that you need to have as an entrepreneur is vital in this day and age. You really need to be adaptable. You need to be willing to learn. You need to have the right attitude, and you need to be able to adapt to every scenario quite quickly. This is very important, and a lot of people don't understand that. For me, myself, I started 16 years ago. I came from a business background, did multiple jobs, decided to one day just leave everything and decided, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I had no experience. I did not study marketing. Everything I have done, learned along the way has put me into a position where 15 years later, I have a thriving agency. And every bit of knowledge I have has been because I've been willing to learn. So you ought to be able to do that. You also need to have a vision for where you want to go. So I believe setting yourself, first and foremost, small goals. So what do you want to achieve within 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, then sort of 5 years, 10 years, where do you want to be? And also you've got to have the perseverance to actually pursue it. This is not easy. So, being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not simple. It's not easy. It comes with a hell of a lot of stress. It comes with a hell of a lot of problems, a lot of learnings, a lot of things that just don't go your way, and you've got to be able to persevere through all of that. So before you even get into this, you've got to understand these things. And then you've got to be able to make the right choices every day. Now, what I mean by right choices is not necessarily business choices. It's about making the right choices in your mind. You've got to get the mindset right every day. So even 15, 16 years down the line, every single day, I make choices in the morning. I choose to be positive. I choose to come in a positive mindset. I choose to grow and learn that day. I choose to have the right attitude. I choose to be positive. These are things that obviously I've learned over the years. It's not always been this way. In the beginning it was super hectic, and there's a lot of things, and I'll get into a little bit more about that. But make the right choices every day in terms of your mindset and what you want to achieve for that day. This is vital. Then we've got to understand that becoming an entrepreneur, starting your own business, any business, has a lot of sacrifices and commitment in it. And people don't realize this. People think it's great. I'm going to go work for myself. I can do whatever I want. I don't need to work from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And you're damn right, you don't need to, because you're going to be working from 6 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock at night. This is not something that is just sort of, hey, I can do whatever I want when I want. There's a lot of sacrifices you're going to have to make in terms of your personal life, your family life, the way you spend money. It's quite an interesting one. You've got to be able to realize that starting this business is going to require the initial financial commitments. And then obviously also you are not going to generate the income that you might think straight off the bat. in my instance, I started the business 2009. I started my first company in 2009. I had to learn, I had to understand business, I had to do all of these things. I had to understand and go and learn marketing and digital and everything in my way. And, for 3 years, I sort of didn't draw a salary. I lived on the bare minimum, living from day to day. But I had the perseverance and the mindset to keep going and pushing through. So you've got to understand that going into this thing is hectic. It's going to take time. You're going to have to put in the hard hours, the hard work, learn the hard lessons, because it's not going to come easy. Nothing comes easy in this instance. And then also you need to be able to have the commitment to overcome the obstacles and stay on the right course. So there are going to be hundreds of obstacles in your way, whether it be government, SARS, economies, things happening globally, consumer changes, product delays, whatever kind of business you might be in. There are always going to be a hell of a lot of challenges and a hell of a lot of speed bumps along the way. And it's not about, the amount of those speed bumps or challenges you face. It's about how you learn from them, how you get through those, and then from there, being able to continuously stay motivated and passionate about what you're doing. It's very easy sometimes to get into a rut where it feels like it's sort of challenge after challenge after challenge is hitting you, roadblock after roadblock. You're hitting your head against the wall continuously, you're not getting anywhere. It's very easy to get yourself into a space whereby you're no longer motivated. You feel like, oh, did I do the right thing? Is this for me? Do I give up? All those kind of things. And again, I'm going to go back to mindset. I'm going to go back to perseverance. You've got to be able to stick it out if you want to make it in the entrepreneurial world. You've got to be able to really push through all of those things. I've faced thousands of challenges. I've made hundreds of mistakes in the years that I've had my companies. And I've owned every single one of them, and I've learned from them. That's the most important thing. I've never lingered on them. If I make a mistake, or if there's a roadblock or a challenge ahead, I don't panic. And I'll be honest, in the beginning, I used to panic. I used to freak out. I used to not get sleep. I used to did I do the right thing? Am I cut out for this? All of these doubts come into play, but you've got to get yourself out of that and really keep going forward. Then you've got to understand the financial realities of becoming an entrepreneur. There's a misconception that if I go work for myself, I'm going to make a ton of money straight off the bat. And I'm here to tell you today, that's not the truth. It does not work that way unless you have one phenomenal concept idea that sort of breaks the market and really just immediately gives you a monopoly in the industry in something that's phenomenal. And if you look at global millionaires, billionaires, this has happened very little. None of those guys have really done that. It's taken time. A lot of the top guys in the world have had to work extremely hard to achieve a level of financial stability where they are now. So you've got to be able to understand that if you are maybe leaving your normal day job, or you are just coming out of school and you are starting your own business, and this is what you sort of want to go for, you've got to be ready for living at a downscale. You've got to be ready for it. And the one thing about entrepreneurship is that some days you have, or some months, for example, you might have a horrible month, and you don't have money to spend. That month you are living as if you are bottom of the food chain. Where the next month you might have a fantastic month and you can do a little bit more and you can have a little bit more freedom. But that never changes. 15 years now, I've got 27 staff members. I always believe, they come first, my team comes first. So whatever I do, I always take care of my team first before I even consider myself. So as you grow your business, all of these things come into play as well. I think financial planning, budgeting, and understanding the potential of financial stability and instability in your specific business industry, your competitors. You've got to understand what those guys are all doing. You've got to understand where the money's at. You've got to understand what it's going to cost you to run your business. A lot of people think about the basics. So starting a business, they go, okay, well, I might just need a laptop and I can get going. That's all fair and well, but you've got CPIC registrations. You've got to then have auditors to do your financials, because you've got to submit audited financials every year. You've got to register for SARS. As you get to a certain threshold of income, you've got to then pay VAT. You've got your internet expenses, you've got your telephone expenses, you've got all of these things that you've got to sort of work out and really understand, right, this is what my expenses are going to be and what income I need to generate to cover my expenses before I start making any kind of profit and able to pay myself a salary. Like I said, for me in the beginning, it took me 3 years before I got to that point where I knew that I had some clients now. I was making profits and I could actually pay myself a salary, and start living sort of the life that they talk about. not quite yet at that point, but you've also got to understand that everything plays a role as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. So petrol prices, inflations, SARS, governments, economics, international relations, everything affects us. So, I sit literally every day and I check exchange rates on a daily basis, because every day when the exchange rate changes, it affects my business. A lot of my expenses are in euros, US dollars, and pounds. So that sort of affects my expenses. So I could quickly go from, paying 18 Rand a dollar to paying 20 Rand a dollar. That's a 2 Rand difference on $1. That affects my pockets. That affects my business. So I've got to stay in the loop with those. I've got to plan financially to be ahead of that. So you got to keep in mind that those are sort of things you've got to look at. Then it's the emotional roller coaster of an entrepreneur. I think this is probably the one thing people don't realize. It is hectic. You are going to go from jubilation, excitement, starting my own business, to crying and bawling your eyes out. Why did I do this to myself? Being negative because you've had 10 clients in a row tell you no, to super excited because you've just won a new account, or you've got a new client, or you've made your first sales, back down to ground level where you are depressed, back to excited, back to depressed, and this never stops. It is an ongoing roller coaster. So from that perspective, you got to understand how to handle stress. You got to understand how to really control the self-doubt within yourself, so that you don't doubt yourself. You're always going to get the no's. I've had many people say no to me, but I've never given up, and I've always stuck around, and I've always lived by the attitude that I will make it happen. So, even if someone says no, I will figure a way to get the yes. So, but that comes with confidence as you build your business, as you get more comfortable with what you're doing, your products, your services, your potential clientele, how all of those things work, and then really take care of the mental health aspect, and find the right support. I can't stress this enough. People don't realize the amount of pressure entrepreneurs have. Entrepreneurs have immense pressure on their shoulders 24/7, especially when you get to the point where you've got other people and their families reliant on your decisions. You've got a lot of stress, you've got pressure, You can't just do what you like. Even though you're going, well, I own my own business, I can do whatever I want. You've got to take the accountability and responsibility for everything else you're doing. So the pressure gets a lot, stress gets a lot. And you surround yourself with the right people. So your family, your friends, real friends who really support you. And motivate and stand by you through thick and thin. Those are the guys you want there. If you've got a significant other who can, just listen. In my experience, it's been very difficult for my significant others that I've had in my life to understand what I'd go through as an entrepreneur, purely for the fact that they weren't entrepreneurs and they were working in corporate worlds and, going to work 8 to 5, earning a salary, happy days. So whatever I went through and the stress that I have obtained on a daily basis was not understood. So it makes it difficult, but you just want the people to be there for you and support you in the most difficult times. And the one thing I can really tell you is that when you're going through a difficult time is to go and speak. Don't keep quiet. Don't hide away. Don't, just try and say, oh, well, I've got to suck it up. Yes, well, you've got to suck it up, but you've also got to be able to communicate. This is vital for your own mental well-being as any person, and I truly recommend you go and speak to someone. I have got no problem with saying that, I speak to someone and I go regularly and I go have my conversations and I am able to really understand and manage my stress levels and everything I do on a day-to-day basis. And I've grown significantly over the 16 years. Since when I started the business to where I am now, I've grown a hell of a lot, emotionally, intelligence-wise, work-wise, all of those factors, the way I do things, everything I've learned. So take care of that. The other thing that I really want you to understand is facing failure and criticism. So you're going to fail. Let me be clear about this. It's not going to be a one-hit wonder. This very, very rarely happens. The chances are you're going to fail multiple times. You are going to be on the outs multiple times. You're going to be rock bottom multiple times. And it's about understanding that is coming. It is inevitable. And you have to be able to understand that now so that when it comes, you don't see it as I have failed. Rather see it as I've got to a point and I need to learn and I need to pick myself up. I need to be motivated to go to that next step now. And that's what it's about. Don't think that you're getting into this and as an entrepreneur it's just, smooth sailing and I'm going to be rocking and rolling and it's all good. I know a lot of entrepreneurs out there give this perception that it's all great, and I call bullshit because it's not. I've done this long enough to understand that failure happens a lot. I have failed many of times. I have hit rock bottom many of times. I have managed to get myself and the businesses through it purely by perseverance, the right mental attitude, and understanding the vision for the business. So you've got to be able to understand that there will be setbacks and you've got to be able to learn from them. And also you will find along the journey a lot of criticism. In the beginning, I also found a lot of criticism about how I was. I've got a very outgoing personality, a very strong personality, and a lot of people sort of see that potentially as rude, or I come across as potentially overwhelming, and this has caused a lot of criticism in the past for me. The way I did business, the way I used to handle staffing, the way I used to handle my teams, the way I used to handle my clients, the way I used to do business. A lot of times I got a lot of criticism. And in the beginning, you sort of take criticism and, you sort of go, yeah, well, stuff you. It's about me, it's my business, all of that. Don't make the mistakes I made. Rather listen to it, learn from it, and grow from it. It's taken me a couple of years to do that, but I have managed to grow and learn through criticism. I actually welcome criticism. So my staff know, my teams know, my family, everyone. If I'm doing something that is not appreciated or something that you believe I could do better, tell me straight away, because I want to learn from that and I want to take it and I want to do better. So start learning to accept criticism for what it is. It's not breaking you down, it's actually there to build you up. And then also the rewards beyond money. Again, a lot of people become entrepreneurs and small business owners with the mindset of, I'm going to make a ton of money. Okay, and that's fine. That's your prerogative if you want to say that. But I also want to make it very clear that becoming an entrepreneur is a special kind of person, firstly. And there's a lot more in it than just the money. So for me, it's always been about, how do I change the industry for the better? I have a lot of things in the industry that I don't believe in the marketing industry, that I believe people are doing and other companies are doing and stuff, and it's just not, according to me, it's not right. So I've always wanted to do things differently, ethically. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in people's lives. It's also about, how can I make a difference in my staff's lives? How can I make a difference in less fortunate people? And it's all about how you understanding the rewards beyond the monetary value, because there's not always going to be the money. So then you've got to be able to go, well, I'm fulfilled. I'm doing what I love. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I'm making an impact on lives. I'm changing the world. I'm changing my industry, bit by bit at a time. But there's more than just money in this, because money will come and go. I have a very strong saying that, people stress about money. I don't. So I believe that I could lose everything today and I could make it again tomorrow. As long as I have faith, do what I'm supposed to do, have the right work ethic, and believe in the vision of where we are going. So I don't panic for those things. I sort of just go with it, and I understand that cash flows and financial stuff is always going to be there. You're going to have sometimes great periods, and sometimes you are going to be having horrible periods. We just came through COVID. As a marketing agency, COVID and the consecutive, or the 2 years after COVID, was pathetically bad for us. Companies and brands and those guys just weren't spending money. We are believing and hoping that 2024 is going to be a better year, but it's taken every little bit out of it, from my perspective and my team, to make it through that period. And I'm happy to say that we're one of the very few agencies in South Africa that didn't retrench. We never took people's salaries away or reduced salaries, and we got through it. Hard as hell, but that's what I'm talking about. It's the fulfillment part of it. It's about how we've made a difference as a team in our lives, how we've been able to stick together through the most difficult period that there ever was. So understand that. Also, I think it's important to appreciate the real success stories. Success stories are not just by fluke. You've got to be able to do the hard work to become successful. I've achieved a lot in my life. I have been on the television, I've been on covers of magazines, I've traveled the world, I've been on conferences, I've done all of these great things, and I've worked with many different companies and brands globally. And I think the one thing that I have always sort of really stuck by is that I am no better than the person next to me. I do not believe that I am any better, even though as a CEO, I am no better than the person that brings me a cup of coffee. So I also believe that you've got to be able to just remain humble in what you're doing. And the successes will not come overnight. As long as you can accept that, I wish you well. Because at the end of the day, if you're willing to put in the hard work, if you're willing to take the long hours, if you are willing to drive the business, if you're willing to learn from the mistakes, if you're willing to go broke every now and again, then great, this is for you. But the success will come. It's just not going to happen straight off the bat. It's going to take time. So, and then just in closing, I mean, just offering some words of encouragement. Like, honestly, I believe in entrepreneurship. We live in a world where, people need to make a difference in their own lives, as well as others. It's a fundamental thing that we also live in a country where unemployment is high. So, why don't we work on entrepreneurs? Why are we not giving people the opportunities and the skill sets to build businesses? I think the biggest issue is that, we don't learn all of the basic things when we are in school or universities, etc. So we come into the world expecting and having this perception of what it is, but we really quickly realize that we got it wrong. So for me, I just want to say, if you're really into this and you want to start a business, or you might have started your business already and you're sort of going through some of these things that I've mentioned, keep going, keep pushing, stay motivated, wake up every single morning, have a routine, tell yourself every day to have the right attitude, be motivated, all of those things. I believe everything in life is a choice. So I can choose to be happy, choose to be motivated. I can choose to be a good boss that day. I can choose to go out and find new business. I can choose to love my partner and my family. All of these things are choices. So you just got to make the right choices every single day and understand that it's all towards a purpose. So I don't want to give you only the bad. I've given you guys all of these things. I've told you what it's about, but I also want to tell you how rewarding it could be. Being an entrepreneur and having your own thing it's phenomenal. If it's something you really enjoy and you want some freedom, it takes time. A lot of people call it, I would like to be able to come and go whenever I please, and all of those kind of things. And yes, you get to that point, but it's not in the beginning, depending on, I suppose, on what industry you're in. But you get to a point where you have that lifestyle. You get to the point where you have the opportunity to live that lifestyle, where you are capable of leaving your business alone for 10 days and it's going to carry on running, where you are able to sit from anywhere in the world and run your business from a mobile phone. So you just got to understand that even though there are a lot of speed bumps, troubles, issues, all of these things are going to happen, at the end of the day, in my opinion, I firmly believe it's worth it. I think it's super exciting, but you've got to have the right mindset as a person to do this. I really hope you guys found this video interesting. It is a long video, but I wanted to do this because a lot of people have asked me, and I wanted to be very honest and truthful about it, and I'm hoping that it will give entrepreneurs, small business owners who are starting off, especially going into 2024, it's going to give you some insights as to what you are in for and also what you need to prepare for, especially considering if you're starting a business this year, there are factors. We have elections coming up, so already keep those things in mind. Those have political factors and economic related factors that are going to affect businesses. So being a small business owner or an entrepreneur and building your own business, it's fantastic, but be ready for everything that comes with it. If you want any more information or read some of my content, obviously follow me on social media, Marinus. You can also visit my website, leomarinus.com. I have articles I'm writing there. So I'm going to really try and do a lot of content this year for you guys. And I look forward to seeing a lot of new successful entrepreneurs. And please, drop comments if you got any questions, if you got any comments regarding what I've just said. If you disagree with something, tell me. I'm really open to have conversations. Have a lucky day and all of the best.